If you do something enough times, you get a lot better at it, like a hat stand that has been made by a hat stand maker. And in this analogy, Ubisoft is the hat stand maker and Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the hat stand. Because Ubisoft get a lot of stick for making the same kind of open world games over and over again, littered with icons, so on and so forth. But as a result, they have really honed what they're doing, and this is very present in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which here is the hat stand. The open world in question in Assassin's Creed, it's hard to say Assassin's Creed Odyssey over and over again, so I'm just going to call it Odyssey or ACO or the hat stand, okay? Right. So in the hat stand, right, you are in Greece this time, and it's fantastic. It is just all open greenery and shimmering seas and lots of lovely flowers and very well tanned NPCs wearing togas. It is great. It's more than an open world with lots of icons in it. It feels very immersive, which is ironic, really, because as we all know, Assassin's Creed fans, the whole thing is not real. Even by video game standards, it is not real. It takes place in this weird kind of analogy of VR and weird science where you are in the Animus and you found something with some DNA on it. So you can go back and inhabit some characters in Greece, because that's what happens in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Sorry, the hat stand. And for someone who hasn't played as much of Assassin's Creed recently, to be honest, I hadn't forgotten about the Animus, but it was definitely at the back of my mind. And that was not helped by playing this game, because the Animus and the real world, like, you know, the person that you're playing as in modern times, is just really on the back burner. Just forgotten about. I can't even remember the woman's name. But luckily, the characters you actually play as in fake ancient Greece, Alexios and Cassandra, are much better. They're really well-voiced characters. They've got great dialogue. It's quite funny, which I always like in games. I appreciate a bit of humour. It's very funny. You can have dialogue options to make choices from, and you can just use them to try and shag everyone in Greece. Seriously, most of the options, particularly in side quests, come down to, do you want to flirt with this man or woman or goat or whatever else? Some of the side quests even revolve around like making your own ancient brand of Viagra, which is fun. And you better get used to those side quests because A, there are a lot of them, and B, the game is a bit cheeky in some respects, in that you will often find yourself presented with a story mission that you want to do, because the story is great. It's all family, twists and turns, drama, excellent. A story mission you want to do, and it's above your level, because this is like an RPG now, right? You've got a level. So you've got to get to that level before you can do the story mission. Well, you don't have to, but if you don't, you'll get your ass kicked, right? So you want to get to that right level, so you've got to do some grinding. Now, you can either do all the side quests that are presented to you, of which there are many, many side quests, or you are nudged subtly towards the storefront, where you can buy XP boosters that will help you level up, and they cost real-world money. And I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm not going to go full rant on it, because I don't... It's not a problem for me, because I don't want to. I'm never going to spend money on these microtransactions in games. I have no interest in doing so. I like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the hat stand, so I will stick with it and I will keep doing the side quests, and that's how I'm going to level up. But if you're someone who is maybe a bit predisposed to these sort of spending money on these sort of things, I think it's a poor practice. Also, the XP boosters are in a part of the menu on the storefront called time savers. Now, if you want to save time, Ubisoft, you make the game, just make the game shorter. That is your prerogative. You don't have to put time savers in it. Now, we've got that bit out of the way, as much as it can be out of the way. Go back to the game. The game is fucking great. I really like Hat Stand. It's wonderful. The combat is of a nature that you don't have a shield, and it's all based around dodging and parrying. Very Dark Souls, yes. But it's great. It keeps you on your toes. You can't just kind of sit back and hold a block button or anything. You have to dodge around your enemy a lot, get used to the attacks, keep you engaged in the combat. It's great. Also, not only combat on foot to be had, combat on boats, and that is incredible. It's not even a big part. Well, it is a big part of the game, I guess. You have to travel by boat quite a lot, but the satisfaction of getting up to ramming speed in a boat and just crunching through a pirate ship, and then you can board them and you kick everyone overboard, It's fantastic. It bodes very well for the upcoming game, which is based basically on the naval combat. What's it called? Skull and Bones? I think it's called Skull and Bones. Because the pirate ships are part of what Ubisoft really understands about open worlds. And also what's been seen recently in the newish Marvel Spider-Man game for PS4 is that the key to open worlds is how you get around them. That's what makes them fun. Everyone who reviews Spider-Man was like, web swinging, wall crawling, fucking great, lads. Similarly, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you not only got the boats, the ships, they're ships more than boats, aren't they? They're really big. The big old Greek ships with the rams on the front. You've not only got those to get about the world with, which is brilliant. You also got the classic Assassin's Creed jobby of scrambling up stuff. You just hold X, and your lad or your ladette just runs over cliffs, jumps off stuff, climbs up everything. Climbs everything apart from trees, weirdly, which are a really climbable thing. Anyway. And it's more than just a sandbox for doing stuff and quests in. The world kind of answers back a lot. If you steal things, or if you're murdering people who you shouldn't be murdering, which is a fine moral line, I guess, when you're an assassin anyway. If you're doing that, you will get mercenaries on your tail, and they just show up whenever. It's not like the police in GTA 5. They're not actively hunting you all the time. But if you cross their paths, they will come and they'll mess you up. And similarly, you can also use the environment to your advantage as well. Like, I had trouble with a boss that I could not kill. Had about 3 or 4 attempts at killing this guy. Sword-on-sword combat wasn't happening. So I lured him up to a guard tower that was quite high off the ground and just kicked him off it, and that killed him. It was great. And also, there was a bit where I had to take out a guard outpost, and it was a lot of them in there. They were packed in pretty tight in this guard outpost. So I found some nearby wolves that were obviously very peckish, and I got them to chase me to the guard outpost, and then I hid. And then the wolves just attacked the guards. It was brilliant. So things like that in the environment make it feel like a living, breathing, if you want to use cliches, a living, breathing world. I suppose the consequence of all this lovely open space is that it's a very big game. And I was playing it on a PS4, a regular peasant issue PS4, and it was struggling a bit. It was struggling a bit to cope with it all. There was a lot of freezing, a lot of clippiness, particularly riding the horse for some reason. I know horses go clippy-cloppy. I don't think that was the reason. And yeah, it wasn't all pervasive. It didn't ruin the game, but there was there was frequent points where the game was not having it and was stuttering a lot, like me right now. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey is enormous, and there is plenty of stuff to do. But as I've said, the inclusion of this stuff to do is questionable motive from Ubisoft. But there is still the story behind it, and I like story to this game a lot. And overall, I think this is a really good late-ish, for Game of the Year this year. So I'm going to give Assassin's Creed 8.5 out of 10. Would have been higher, to be honest, if it hadn't been for the storefront and the nudges towards it. But overall, that comes down to you, really. If you're happy to ignore that and grind away at the game instead to level up, you'll have a great time, lads. Great time. I keep saying lads for some reason. I'm recording this quite early in the morning, or it's early for me anyway. Lads is gender neutral though, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's fine. Yeah, cool. Otherwise, maybe take a point or so off that review score. Thanks for listening. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you to do all the usual stuff, or Andy will have a go at me. So make sure to like and subscribe and all of that to NGB. And if you want even more information about the hat stand, go to nextgenbase.com, because there's my whole written review, and it's bigger than this. I know, lads. Fuck's sake. Cheers, bye.